Welcome to another episode of Racing to Learn. We're a non-profit to get kids excited about math and science.
Thank you for that wonderful introduction. All right, so we are working on our Mazda RX-7. This is a 1990, right next to its same bodied. They call it the FC3S is the body designation. We've got an 86 as well, but today we're going to be focusing on the 1990 RX-7. This has lived a rough life during its 4 years away from us. We've finally took off those fiberglass fenders. I think those are Duraflex fenders there, laying vertically against that those cabinets and whatnot. They weren't fitting too well, and we procured a used set of metal fenders, S5. They call the second generation of the the second production run of the second generation RX-7, the S5. So the S4 is actually this guy over here. This is an S4 that went from 1986 through 1988. And then you've got the S5 that went from 1989 through 91. And so this is a 1990. The fenders are actually different. They have different moldings on them. So just be aware of that if you're trying to interchange fenders between the two. They also had a different front bumper. Currently our front bumper is outside. We discovered that some of the bolts on that front bumper, or the studs rather, that pass through these mounting holes, and you'll notice that we've got some work to do in terms of finessing the fenders, bending them to get these mounting holes to line up. But the studs that go through these mounting holes, we've only got about half of them. So on one side, one of the studs is broken, on the other side, two of the studs are broken. So we've got to figure out what to do there. We're going to do some research on the forums. You can see how it is on this other side. We've got some finessing of that metal as well as this metal over here to get all these holes to line up. I've been debating on whether we should just use bolts through these instead of the studs that originally came with them, because the studs are pretty... the snapped ones, those are going to be difficult to remove without distorting the metal that they're attached to in that front bumper. So anyways, another thing is the seats. So one thing that we noticed that was kind of dangerous, this started happening, was that the slider, now I've taken off the bottom of this, these are Breedays or Brides, low maxes that are adjustable, and you'll notice that they're attached. The sides are attached, or the seat is attached to the sides here. I took off the bottom base of the seat to get a better access to the slider. Right? So this, if you pull this up, it allows you to adjust the seat forward and backward, and this is not functioning properly because if you hit it with any sort of pressure in the back, it will just, I don't know if you guys noticed that, but it will just slide back. And this is extremely dangerous while you're driving the car, because even on acceleration, that seat might just start sliding back. And it did that a couple times when I was driving it, and I could not get the seat to lock back up. So what we're going to do is just try to remove the slider and see how the seat actually bolts up without that slider in place. The side mounting screws were not even tight on some of these, so definite safety concerns here. Side mounting holes, that's how those Brides, or the bottom of the seat mounts up at least. So yeah, I wasn't sure if something just got caught in these seat rails. Maybe this, I don't know. There were some washers stacked up as spacers there. This is, you need one of these custom mounting custom mounting brackets first to mount to where the stock seat mounts up, and then you mount the rails onto that, and then the seat onto the rails. We might just get rid of the rails in their entirety unless we can figure out what's wrong with the sliding mechanism. You'll notice that there are these notches, right? These little teeth here, and the mechanism is supposed to, when you lift up on this, lift up on the adjustment bar here to slide the seat back and forth. That just doesn't seem to be engaging with these teeth, right, to lock the seat in. So there's definitely something going on there. I'm not sure. There's a better view of those teeth, and we can look at it from the side too. So somehow this lever and whatever it's attached to that locks onto those teeth is not functioning properly. So whatever this lever is not mounting it properly to the whatever catches on those teeth. So we're gonna have to check that out here. One of the nice things is that, a pleasant discovery, is that the base is actually a Sparco base. You can see the sticker for it here and the part number. So that's nice that this is actually a quality base here. You can see the Sparco actually laser cut or water jetted cut out of the metal here. So this is a very sturdy mount, so that's a good thing. I'm not even sure if these brides or breed A seats, you can see the bottom cushions there, are real or just a knockoff. So that's where we stand. I mean, that's something we definitely need to fix before getting this car back on the road. So we're going to dive in a little bit deeper here and see if we can figure out what's wrong. So the next thing I was going to do was just to remove the bottom seat rails here, and just to figure out if it's even worth retaining that reclining mechanism or just getting rid of it altogether. Alright, so after wrestling with it for a little bit, we got one of the screws off here, or the bolts. You can see these 10mm bolts that the previous owner used, but these seem to be different than these bolts. Oh, actually, maybe these are standard. I should check. No, actually, that wouldn't be right because I tried. It does actually fit a 10mm wrench. So, after trying a box-ended wrench on the back side of this and holding the top with a 10mm, for some reason a 10mm socket will not fit onto this head. I'm just going to take off the whole seat bracket. That's going to be the quickest way to go here. So I'm going to take off the actual seat brackets and get a complete picture of what we're dealing with, and that will make things easier if we need to actually drill holes into this seat base. And that will actually make things easier if we need to drill holes in to this seat base. So again, yeah, you can see the markings on these bolts are different. This one says 8.8 on it. This one says 10.9. Those are all in regards to, you know, what grade of bolt these are. You know, what kind of tensile strength that these bolts have. I don't really trust a lot of the work that the interim owner did to this car, so I'm going to go ahead and take these all off and see what take off the big bolts here, take off the entire Sparco base mounting plate here. These are car specific. This one's specific for the RX-7 here. Check out the conditions of the sliders and whatnot. I'm going to take off these 4 bolts. And there's 2 more behind here, under there if you guys can see it. And actually that's a bad view, but if I slide the seat forward, there's 2 more bolts behind there. Let's see if we can get a good view with this. Anyways, we're going to take out the 4 bolts that hold the mounting base plate and see what the condition of the rest of the screws is. I'm really glad I took the entire seat out. The reason why my wrench wasn't catching was because of this angle here, I think. This washer is actually sunken into the base of the mount, and this offset here, or this little lip of the washer, wasn't letting my wrench catch. So yeah, just some more headaches here, and you can see this other washer completely distorted. The bolt for the rear right side was completely missing, going into the, let me see where if I can find it back here. Oh, this one. This one near the transmission tunnel, the bolt was completely missing. So there were only 3 bolts, the front 2 and the rear left, right on, since I have it upside down, but only 3 bolts holding this chair, the seat in. So I'm really glad I took this apart. Much like taking over anybody else's project car, you're bound to run into stuff like this. That's why having a pristine car that hasn't been touched by somebody else is the best way to go if you can find one. Unfortunately, our RX-7 was not that way. All right, we've got the Sparco seat base off. Here's the slider, and you can see when I crank that lever up, that presses on these bronze colored things, and those have the teeth which clamp on to the actual rails here. Let's see if I can, well, we show the teeth here. So anyways, we're gonna go ahead and remove this. There's a couple of hex cap headed screws holding the rest of this in, and we'll get the rest of this rail off here. All right, so we've got the seat rail, the seat rails removed. You can see here one of those teeth is bent. There's no sort of manufacturer markings on these rails either, so it's probably pretty safe to assume that they're, just generic made in China sliding seat rails. Probably not the safest. So we've got the Sparco base plate mounted up. Only the top 2 screws fit here. You can actually see that you can put 2 sets of bolts through. Unfortunately, the rear holes do not line up. We're about that much short. If you can see there, this is the mount. So I think these, safe to say that these were made for drilling holes through to fit other seats. So we're gonna have to mark these holes, and actually first we want to check the seating position on this to see if it fits me. But we'll go ahead and drill a hole through the plate on that side, and then another one on this side. But that's after we do a test fitment to see my seating position. So anyways, we're losing sunlight rapidly here, so let us know what you guys think in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe, and we will catch you next time. Thanks again for watching.